Drummers Against Implied Timekeeping. I'm going to give you some tips on playing better time, the ability to play better with others, and to have more of a metronome to your sound. And so you can record better and you'll play better with others. And these tips are basically my opinion over many years of experience. Now, there are a lot of videos on YouTube discussing the merits of playing time better and showing you tips and ways of going about it. And a lot of them I think are just very good, so I'm not against them at all. I think you should listen to them. But what I'm telling you is uniquely different, and I'm going to explain why, all right? Now, as a disclaimer always, this is my opinion. Whenever I'm talking about these things on my channel, it's how I think of them based on many, many years of experience, 47 years. Now, as a rule of thumb, playing to records is, to me, absolutely essential to improve your time. Even if you don't have a drum set and you're just playing air drums, I want you to listen to records at all times, because it's the ability of just hearing orderly time on any recording. And if you have a drum set, even if you're a beginner or intermediate level, I want you to play to records. Put on the headphone and whatever music you like, play to the record. It just helps you and kind of get you in the order of things of how to go about playing with others. And then, of course, I want you to play with others. Playing with others, hitting off of other musicians, just speeds up the process of getting your time together. Now, but this is the important thing, and I want to stress this especially to intermediate drummers and advanced level drummers. When we play eighth notes, obviously, when you're listening to a metronome, it's perfectly timed, right? And a drummer who's intermediary or advanced level, you would play with a pulse, like that. But what I want to stress to you is where you can avoid eighth notes and stress quarter notes, unless the application doesn't fit, and that's tough to call. It depends on the song. But as a rule of thumb, I am a big advocate of the quarter note in dictating the time over the eighth note. So when you're recording or you're doing a new song, you're listening to a song and you're going to drum to it, think in terms of the quarter note, not the eighth note, especially if it's slower tempo. There is a natural sense of a drummer to, if he hears a slow four, to do eighths. And I understand that, but I want you to think in terms of the quarter. The reason I'm stressing that is the quarter is the greatest timekeeping pulse for you as a drummer. I don't want to get too complicated or get too philosophical about this. I'm just saying, when I look back at all the recordings I've done over the years, I've been involved with playing a long time, I see myself over the series of those years, 1970s, the mid-70s to now, I often wonder how these recordings would have been if I stressed a quarter note. And I'm of the conviction that quarter notes are more important, in the sense that the pulse is better. If it's pop, rock, even jazz music, or R&B, I've played a lot of different things over the years, that when the quarter is stressed, the pulse and the time are better. Now, there are places where eighth notes applied, and I did them, and 16th notes, no doubt. But I'm just saying, as a general rule of thumb, to improve your time, the best tip I can give you is to think in terms of the quarter note and not the eighth note. And definitely not the 16th note, unless, it depends on the particular style. But the order of things is the quarter, not the eighth. And I tend to think a lot of drummers are automatically playing eighth. Because it's natural, and you learn that way, and it's right-handed. But when you switch and play open-handed position, as I'm trying to teach, the quarter is accentuated as it should be. And then I started realizing over many, many years of drumming that the quarter note is the key. The power of the quarter, the time, the metronome, everything comes off of the quarter, not the eighth note. So when you're listening to a song, and you're listening to a drummer play lots of eighth notes, I want you to play the quarter notes and do a comparable. All right, that's the purpose of this video, to stress the quarter and not the eighth to improve time. Hopefully this makes sense to you. I tend to think that when we're drumming, it is a process. And then when you look back on this process, or you've recorded these things, you can say, maybe this would have been better. And that's why I made the video. So your time will improve if you designate quarter notes more than eighths as the pulse. And you can accent eighth notes in a song. And for you blast beaters as well, that are doing 250 beats per minute, the principle still applies, because you're still doing quarters with your other hand, even while you're doing 250 beats per minute. I want that quarter always as the pulse. Now, for those of you coming in for the very first time, I invite you to go through my entire catalog, which is very extensive, to understand the general idea of my series. I have an explanation video and an introduction, which just sets forth what I'm trying to do by drumming in an open-handed position using double pedal and now 2 hi-hats. And if you like what you're seeing, I'm inviting you to subscribe to my channel. Your subscription is your way of showing support to what I'm doing and what I'll continue to do in the future. I'm a big advocate, obviously, of open-handed position playing and some of the principles that I'm trying to teach and the reasons behind them. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on twitter.com/drummersagainst, facebook.com/drummersagainst-implied timekeeping. And I have a website, r.dalibus57.wix.com/DAITK, which is a little bit of my background and what I've done before. And again, as I say, thanks for looking in. Every so often I want to explain some things that I think are necessary and the reasons behind it. So one major thing for me to improve time are the things that I've stressed: listening to records, playing with people, but stressing quarter note over eighth note. And that, to me, is a big improvement. The quarter note is where the power is. The quarter note is where the time is. You can move the quarter. The quarter can breathe where eighth notes do not breathe. Hopefully you can understand this. I welcome the interaction. If you have any detailed questions regarding these things, I'll be glad to, as best I can, explain it outside of just this video. So thanks for looking in. And for those of you who have stayed with me, my gosh, thank you. It inspires me to continue. I've got a lot more coming that are videos that are technically challenging, utilizing a remote hi-hat. And hopefully you like that. So keep me posted as to what you're doing, and hopefully you'll continue. So this is what I think about improving your time and how to do it in an efficient manner. So good luck to all of you. Let me know what you think. Keep me posted.